After years and years and years of waiting, Final Fantasy Remake is finally here. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ventus, and welcome to the video. Alright, so Final Fantasy VII Remake is scheduled to be released on the 10th of April, and I couldn't be more excited. Ahead of the full game's launch, a playable demo was released for free for everyone to play, and this was my first hands-on experience with the new game. Going into it, I had so many questions. Was combat going to feel like the previous Final Fantasy, or was it going to remind me more of Kingdom Hearts? How are they going to handle magic and materia? Could I just use Cloud the entire time without switching to Barret and still be okay? I had a lot more questions, but after playing the demo, a lot of them were answered, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my findings and my thoughts on the demo and my hope for the full game. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the demo starts you off on what's going to be Chapter 1 of the full game, the Mako Reactor bombing mission, the very same bombing mission that was in the original game. Now, I really like this because it puts you right into the combat, right in the middle of the action. The music and the pacing of this early stage of the game really makes you feel the urgency of the situation. You're attacking a government facility that is heavily guarded, and you've been hired as this mercenary whose job it is to protect your team from any threats. The game does an amazing job of making you feel powerful when controlling Cloud because it throws enemies at you left and right, opponents that always outnumber you, and all you have to fight with is a gigantic sword and a little bit of magic. Enemies are firing off with automatic weapons, giving callouts to each other and strategizing on how to take you down, but they never can. This sort of start to a game is brilliant and gives you a sense of strength, power, and combative confidence, and overall, it's fun. In the original, the turn-based style was really simple to pick up. Your opponents attack and then you had your turn. You actually hit harder than they did back then, and you had more options. In this updated version, the turn style has been replaced with an active, free-swinging hack-and-slash element that really drives home how strong Cloud is because of his choice of weapon. One of the most iconic elements of Final Fantasy VII is Cloud's sword, the Buster Sword. It's massive, and to see him swinging it around like it's nothing, clobbering enemies is so exciting and awe-inspiring that it really adds a certain adjective to the natural fluidity of Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat system. The combat system took some getting used to, learning enough to be able to use it to its full potential, but once I got a good grip on it, I came to love it. To me, it works on a principle of building towards a payoff. The ATP gauge is what governs your more interesting combat options. For me, I love throwing magic more than I do swinging Cloud's sword, and in the demo, Cloud comes equipped with fire materia. I really enjoyed being able to hack at one enemy who was close to me and then throwing fire on one that was across the room. When you activate a spell or an ability, time slows to a near standstill and gives you time to decide what you want to do. Now, specifically with Cloud, when the ATB gauge fills up, you can choose to use an item, throw magic, or use an ability such as Braver or Focus Thrust. Or you can opt to guard while in Cloud's Punisher mode, and if an opponent targets you with a melee attack, you get a free counterattack that you get to follow up with a normal attack. Guarding from attacks builds the ATB gauge, so it seems like this sort of block and counter strategy works best for Cloud during the demo, especially against a particular enemy that you face towards the demo's end, the Shock Trooper. The Shock Troopers are pretty difficult to hit as they are extremely agile. I found that guarding with Cloud while in Punisher mode works best against them. Now, the boss fight with the Scorpion Sentinel on my first run was challenging because I was still learning the combat system and trying my best to stick with Cloud as much as possible. The fight was doable, but by my 6th or 7th time fighting the Scorpion Sentinel, I learned that switching to Barret often was pretty much the key to winning this fight easily. Of course, whenever the Scorpion was staggered, switching to Cloud to deal heavy damage was super helpful. Another thing that I liked about the combat system was the fact that you didn't have to switch to Barret to use Barret's spells, and likewise with Cloud. By holding a button on the controller, I was able to pull up a menu for the other character and choose an ability for them to do if their ATB meter had enough charge. This seemed really helpful on the fight with the Sweeper robot because in the demo, Barret has control of bolt material while Cloud has the fire. Now, robots like Sweeper are weak to lightning magic, so being able to dash around the Sweeper to avoid its attacks while dealing out damage with Cloud's sword while retaining the ability to quickly make Barret shoot it with lightning made it feel way cooler than it would have if the only way to shoot Sweeper with bolt magic was to switch characters. Not gonna lie, Learning how to manipulate 2 characters at once in the demo did take a little bit of practice, and I can only imagine how hectic it's going to be to learn how to use 3 at once when the game is fully released, but I can already see how amazing it's going to be when you get used to it, to be able to strategize and find ways to take down certain enemies by choosing which characters to put on point and which to switch to when enemies take certain combat actions. The demo is actually amazing, and I've played it over a dozen times so far, and each time I do, I get a little bit better at the combat system. It gives me a chance to really get a good grip of the combat system so that when the full game releases, I won't have such a hard time learning how to control 3 characters at once with all of their actions. Now, to call this game a hack and slash, I feel would be very disrespectful. The combat feels better than Final Fantasy 15, and the in-game graphics looks better than anything I could have hoped for. I give the demo a 5-star rating and feel confident that anybody who likes video games at all will fall in love with this game without ever having played Final Fantasy in their life. My name is Ventus, guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate a like, and then down in the comments tell me if you've ever played a Final Fantasy game before, and if not, do you think that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be your first? You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.